Whether you are a Christmas starts November 1st kind of person, or you're a Christmas doesn't start till after Thanksgiving kind of person, Christmas is coming and the holiday season is coming upon us, and I personally am obsessed with Christmas and the holiday season. I love it. It makes me so happy, but it can also be super, super, super overwhelming. Myself personally, Christmas, like December, tends to be my busy time anyway. So having the added family functions and things to do and all sorts of merrymaking makes life a lot more chaotic, let us say. So it can really easily slip into stressful, and this video is all about how we can, not have that. We want things to be non-stressful, fun, lighthearted, and great. So let's talk about a couple of different things that you can do to kind of lift the burden a little bit, make it a little bit less stressful. As you can see, I have not started decorating yet. I still have my fall things out here, but it's coming very, very soon, and we'll talk about that as well in this video. But yeah, let's chat. And if you are also Christmas obsessed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I do Vlogmas and I do lots of Christmassy videos. So if you're into all that kind of stuff, then definitely hit the subscribe button and we can do all the Christmas stuff. I cannot wait. I've been watching old Christmas videos from other people and I'm just like itching to get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about before we get into like the actual practical tips is to remember that the holiday season can feel stressful because there's a lot of added stuff going on, but it's not supposed to be. First of all, the focus should be on Jesus, and secondly on family and friends and those relationships and just really making things special for each other. But all of the added things are not necessary, and so if something is stressing you out, don't do it. Okay. Especially, I personally, like, we're in the position of both of our families live in town, which is great. It's also super stressful because everybody wants to do all sorts of different things going on, all sorts of different events, and it can be really difficult and it can be really stressful, and you're allowed to say no to whatever you want. You can do what you want. It's your life. Okay. Here's me giving you permission to say no to things you don't want to do. Okay. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, let's talk presents, but actually I need to go upstairs. So forgive my fall house. Also, it is way too hot for me to be wearing this sweater, but all of my like Christmas stuff is still in the attic. So I was like, oh, green sweater, that's festive. And I'm regretting it because I live in Georgia and it's hot. So that's my story. Okay, excuse the messy craft room, but it's a craft room. It's supposed to be messy. So one thing that can be really stressful is gift giving, because you probably have a lot of people in your life that you are giving gifts to and all that good stuff. And everyone has different like expectations around gifts, thoughts around gifts. I personally love gift giving, but this has been top of my mind in particular because I am a teacher, and so I get Christmas break, which is lovely. Well, winter break. And it's great. However, this year, I don't get out until the Friday before Christmas. Christmas is on a Wednesday. We're going to be out of town that weekend, and so I have like no time to prep. Normally I have days ahead of time where I get to clean and, like bake things and wrap presents and all that. And so as I was looking at my calendar, I was thinking, oh no, I have to have everything prepared before winter break. Like, I don't have any winter break days in order to do things. I was going to have Monday. Tuesday I have, but it's like Christmas Eve, so like, things aren't going to be open and it's going to be chaotic. So like I can't go, shopping for presents and stuff like that. So present wise, I personally have to have things ready like really ahead of time this year because of just all of that. And I'm not going to have as much time to like shop and wrap and those kind of things. So what I do for presenting, number one is I keep a list all year long. So this isn't like super helpful anymore because we're getting kind of close, but go ahead and start this now if you haven't already. So I keep a list in my phone of present ideas for other people, present ideas for my husband specifically, and present ideas for myself. So the reason is because all throughout the year, people will say things like, oh, I really wish I had blah, blah, blah. Or you'll see something and be like, oh, so-and-so would really like that, but maybe you're not in the position to buy it yet. But you can keep track of those things and you can put them in a list. And then that way, when you get to Christmas, you already have ideas and you're not starting from zero, which is really helpful, especially if you have a lot of people to buy for. Even if you just have a couple of ideas, it's going to be so much better. Let's see. What did I have on my list? Gift ideas. and you might not do these things. So like nobody watched my videos, so don't worry. But my father-in-law, my husband was like, oh, I'd really like to get him like a certain pair of sunglasses. So I put that down on the list. My sister-in-law, I found a really fun gift for her. And so I will probably be getting that for her. And I have like my niece, a couple ideas for her. And so not a ton of things, but I just kind of put like the person, the idea, the price, so that I can kind of keep track of different ideas. That way, when we got to now that we're getting closer, I went through and we like, picked out what our budget was going to be. And I wrote down all of the people who need different gifts on my list, which I'll probably also put in my bullet journal. But I have different people that I need gifts for, obviously. And so I already had some ideas for some people. Also, like on Etsy, I'll favorite things if I think it's a good gift idea. On Amazon, I'll put it on a list. So that way I have them. And so I just like went through and looked through those, and I already had ideas for, I would say, most of the people on our Christmas list, which is great because then I don't have, all these extra things. Now, why we had to come to the craft room is because I also will sometimes purchase things ahead of time. So I was like, let's see what we have. Alphabet puzzle. I don't think I need that. I always keep extra kid gifts also because like, oh, ooh, I have a sweatshirt for somebody. I forgot that I had bought that. So I'm glad that I looked through here. And so that's why I do this, is because then I can look through and be like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Or, hey, someone bought me this last year, but I already had it, so I can go to somebody else this year. And so like just looking through and seeing what things I've already purchased can be super, super helpful. Like I totally forgot about this sweatshirt. We do like a Secret Santa kind of thing where we like draw names. So I actually don't have that person, but I might give it to them. Anyway, oh, yes. And brother, I have a present for him. Great. Forgot about that. And grandfather, have a present for him. Great. So like I'm already a little bit ahead of time, and so I need to go and update my list with things that I already have. Some of these, like, I have some like dog paraphernalia for my brother, but I also found a really cool gift for him, so I might get him the gift and save this for next year or for his birthday or something. So I don't know, I'll think on it. But those are kind of things that you can do. It's just collect things when you're somewhere and you see something, especially if it's like on sale or something like that. If you have the extra money, and you can go ahead and grab it, and then that's going to save you money. Doesn't technically save you money, but it kind of saves you money in Christmas season, because then you're not buying those things now when you're also buying things for other people. So that can be really helpful, just like having a list. And even if you don't have a list already, go ahead and start a list now, and it'll make life just a little bit easier. So I have one for like people in my life, I have one specifically for husband, and then I also keep one for myself, because if you're in the lovely, lovely, lovely position of not like desperately needing things, it could be overwhelming when people are like, what do you want for Christmas? And you're like, I don't know. So I keep a list of present ideas for myself as well, so that way if somebody asks like, hey, what would you like for Christmas, I have something to tell them, and then they're not getting me something random. That's obviously optional, but I do find it really helpful. And then that way, or like husband will be like, oh, what do you want in your stocking, or things like that. And like just having those ideas ready is going to help a lot to, get rid of junk. We don't want junk. So I keep a list, and things on my list are usually like smaller price items that are things I would like, but they're not something I desperately need right this second. So like I was looking at mine this morning, and I had like a cake decorating tip organizer bin, and like a muffin tin, because I have one but I really need two. And so things like that, where it's like, it's not life-changing, I'm not dying without them, I'm gonna be fine, but having them would be nice. And so those are the kind of things that make good gifts, because they're not things that I desperately need, they're not super expensive, but they are things that would be nice and I would enjoy. Okay, so remember, this is for fun. Make lists throughout the year. Also make sure you have a budget, and make sure you think about all those people you need to buy presents for. Like I was just thinking this morning, I was like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna have Secret Santa at school, and so I need to have presents for that, and so stuff like that. Just make sure you think through all that kind of stuff. All right, so my third tip is to plan ahead. Specifically, gosh, that goes into so many different things. So I have, you know, different events going on. We've already been putting those into the calendar. We have a whole list. I should show you. I have a whole list on Evernote, which is just the app that I use that I like. There's a free version, and then there's also a paid version. But you can totally use the free version. I have the paid version because you can scan PDFs and it can read them. So you can search and it will like pick up things in there. And I really like that personally. But, you know, different things like that. So I keep lists of different things. So I keep a list for gifts. I also keep, like, last year I had a whole list of like different food items that I wanted to make for various whatever, and links to recipes to help me out. So I was like, okay, I want to try this, I want to try that. Here are different foods that we need for our, like, we host Christmas dinner, and so like here's the things I need to make for that. And so those things are really, really helpful. This year we have a lot of events on the calendar. So I have a list of planned events, so things I have already paid for that are already like ready to go. And then I have lists of tentative events, which are things that we don't have tickets for yet, but would like to see. So like we're going to see the Nutcracker. We're going to go see Celtic Women. I'm so pumped for. And then we would also like to go see like the Bamboo Gardens down the street does like a pretty like light show. The church down the street does this like really interactive thing. They call it the Journey. It's like the Nativity, and they have like, it's crazy. It's crazy. If you're ever in Savannah, they do it every other year, I think, but it's insane. They transform like their whole campus into like Bethlehem, and you go through and it's like a whole like live nativity situation. It's insane how much effort they put into it. But just having a list of like things that you're doing, making sure things are on the calendar, and things that you maybe like want to keep an eye on, maybe would like to do but aren't like scheduled. Those are great. And then also lists of things that like you need to actually get done. So for example, I like to do watercolor Christmas cards, and so I need to get on those like probably in the next couple weeks because they need to be ready before Christmas, you know? And so like I need to be thinking about that kind of stuff. I need to think about like when I'm gonna wrap presents. I need to think about, you know, just all that kind of stuff. If you can plan ahead, it just will make life so much better. So I have the list, and then I also have a calendar, and I think this year I might go through and do like maybe a week by week, like here's the things I need to get done during this week to just kind of keep myself on track, because like I said, this is my busy season anyway. I teach elementary music, so my December is like concerts and field trips and end of the semester, so I also have like grades due, and like there's just a lot going on already. And then add on all the extra festive things, I do Vlogmas, which I love, and it's so much fun, but it is an added thing, you know, and so that can be really stressful. So planning ahead with notes, planning ahead with calendars, and making sure that you and whoever you live with are really on the same page. So husband and I, actually, we were out of town this weekend, which came home yesterday, and so like as we're in the car on the way home, we're going through and like, okay, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Oh, I would love to see this. I would love to see that. And it gave us the time to like sit down and look things up and see what different days things were going on, and just really have a plan. I need to share this list with him so that he will also have access to it, so that he knows what's going on as well. But different things like that just can really make a huge difference, even though it's not like a big thing, it can make a big difference. And number 4 is, if you're watching this in enough time, see what you can do ahead of time. So this can be really dramatic. Like I said, I teach elementary music. So one thing I did was this year, I went to my principal and I said, hey, can 1st and 2nd grade have concerts not at Christmas time? Because last year I was new to the school, and so I inherited everything, so it was just like already set up for me. And so what I inherited was a 1st and 2nd grade concert one night, and a 3rd through 5th grade concert, or not 4th and 5th grade concert the next night. And we had 2 different concerts, which means we had all these rehearsals for all those concerts. We had one of them was at a different school, so we could use their auditorium. There was like a whole ticket system. Like, it was a lot. And so this year I was like, can we not do that? So I actually already did my 1st grade concert. They did theirs in October. My 2nd graders have theirs in November, so it's coming up next week. And so that way in December, I only have to worry about my choir because it's like choir and then the band teacher's doing band. So like I don't have to worry about anything else, just that one. And usually the choir concerts are the easiest. I do have still like a lot of field trips going on in December, but at least it's like less night things and it's all, you know, related to my choir. And so it's less things to keep track of, which is really helpful. Other things you might want to try to get out of December for me this year, decorating for Christmas. Last year, so let's back up. The last few years, we've been going out of town for Thanksgiving, and so we've been decorating before going out of town. Last year, we were in town for Thanksgiving, so we're like, oh, we'll decorate after Thanksgiving. Terrible decision, because we did not finish decorating before Thanksgiving break was over, which meant that then we got back to school. I have concerts like every night, rehearsals every night. I have field trips. I'm exhausted. I have so much going on, and the house isn't finished. So the house just felt like a full-on disaster because it was like in that state of like not done yet. And so we didn't finish decorating until like the day of. I think I posted my like Christmas house tour like on Christmas Day. Yeah, it was not the move. And so this year I was like, we're not doing that, and we're doing things ahead of time. And so this year we are going to be pulling out the Christmas bins probably this weekend. I kind of just want to go ahead and do it today. It might be my reward for getting things done, but we'll see. And my plan is to get everything done before Thanksgiving. So my master plan is I'm going to start with the rooms that are used like the least and kind of work my way down. So like the living room will be the last thing I do, but like my office or the loft or the bedroom, because we have a lot of Christmas trees, and so I have a lot of things to decorate, and I love it, and I'm so here for it. And that's the reason I do it, is because I just think it's so much fun. And this year I want to have a Christmas tree in this room. I'm so excited. But it does become a lot if you don't get it done. So this year we're decorating before Thanksgiving, and it's gonna be fine. So things like that, like if you can pull something out of December and get it done ahead of time, for like my business, because I have a whole side hustle, I am trying to like wrap things up in November so that December, I have a few things that are kind of like I could do in December, but they're not make or break it. They're not like super important things. They're things I would like to get done, but I don't have to get them done in December. So like things that I need done, I'm kind of planning to do this month instead, so that way they're done before we get to there. Just things like that. You know, what can you pull out of December? What can you make just a little bit more fun? And then, you know, just remember, this is for fun. And if you're doing a lot of extra Christmasing, it's on you. And so you don't have to do it. And if you have kids, I know I don't have kids, so I don't have a lot of room to speak. But as someone who grew up with enough, but not a lot, we didn't do all the Christmasing things. Like we did the tree, and we did the cookies, we did the presents, but we didn't, go see 80 million shows, and we didn't go do this, that, or the other. Like there wasn't a lot of stuff going on. It was mostly just like cookies, some presents, that kind of stuff. Like it was very, very low key, and we were fine. Like your kids don't need everything in the whole entire world to be happy at Christmas time. So just like take some stress off for yourself. They're gonna be okay. Yeah, do some fun things. Maybe pick one or two things to be like your traditions, but you don't have to do all of the things. Now, husband and I this year are like, let's see all of the shows. Let's go to every concert, because that's just us and we enjoy that. And that's just kind of the mood we're in this year. And so we've already kind of been doing that this year. We've been going to lots of concerts. We've been going to the symphony. We just came home from the opera. Like we've just been doing all the things. And that's just kind of where we are this year in particular. But I know going into that, if I have all these things scheduled, it's going to be really chaotic. And so because of that, I also know, hey, that means I can't plan really important things in December for the business because I'm not going to have time. I'm going to be like, out doing all these fun things, which is great. And I'm here for it. But you just got to, take those things to heart and really think about them. So those are a couple quick tips to help you out with Christmas season. And just remember, this is for fun. This is for fun. It should be causing joy, and if it's not causing joy, then you need to really, really reevaluate things. Right? Right. Okay. I would love to hear any of your tips down below in the comments, especially if you do have kids and you have like kid specific tips. Leave those down below because I know that other people would love to hear them. I'm going to go because my phone's ringing and I'm hoping it's the roofers. Okay. See you later. Bye.